New evidence in a lawsuit against the Wyoming Department of Education shows the state knew public money was being spent on a private political event, although officials denied it. Warland's Jay Richard won another pumpkin championship over the weekend, and a former Super Bowl champion who lived in Park County died in a plane crash over the weekend. Bringing you these stories and more from Wyoming's largest news organization, I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. New evidence has been revealed which shows that the Wyoming Department of Education knew that public money had been spent on a private political event when it said it hadn't, and that evidence will be allowed into an ongoing and potentially precedent-setting public records lawsuit, according to Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson.
This evidence shows that the state knew that money was spent on the political event that Brian Schrader, former superintendent of public instruction, held. Unequivocally, the state knew that money had been spent because a reporter from WyoFile had been told such.
Laramie County Judge Stephen Sharp said whether or not there was a deliberate intent to hide information from the public is irrelevant, as he believes the new evidence belongs in the case. A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit filed by former Wyoming gubernatorial hopeful Rex Ramel, who claimed his Fourth Amendment rights were violated when he was charged for not showing brand inspection permits for his horses. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that a federal judge says Ramel already had his chance to litigate the issue in state court.
Rex Ramel was convicted in state court already for failure to produce his brand inspection permits when he was crossing county lines with livestock. But he challenged that in state court, saying that that law is against people's Fourth Amendment rights. The state court rejected that argument.
The dismissal was with prejudice, meaning Ramel cannot bring this case to the federal court again. Well, Warland's Jay Richard won another pumpkin championship over the weekend with 1,686-pound Joni crushing the competition and taking first place honors in Colorado. But the gigantic gourd played havoc with his vehicle. Joni was so heavy she caused his truck to blow out a tire on the freeway heading to the Littleton, Colorado weigh-off. On the other hand, Richard's second first-place win in just 2 weeks is thrilling for the Warland grower, according to Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi.
He's had the best pumpkin growing year of his career up to this point, and he's really eager to share all three of his big pumpkins this year at the Wyoming Annual Pumpkin Weigh-Off in Warland on October 7th.
The Wyoming State Championship will be on Richard's home turf in Warland on Saturday. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Russ Francis, a Super Bowl football champion who recently lived in Cody, including a stint hosting a local radio show, died in a plane crash Sunday afternoon. The former NFL Pro Bowl tight end moved to a ranch between Cody and Powell in 2016, and in his 4 years in Park County, he regaled listeners in the Bighorn Basin with stories about the outdoors. That's according to Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson.
He didn't live in Park County for very long. He did end up moving back to New England in 2020, but he made his presence known in the community. He was a member of the local American Legion, and he led a fascinating life.
Francis played 14 years in the NFL from 1975 to 1989 and was a member of the 1985 Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. The small private plane he was in crashed around 4:10 p.m. Sunday at Lake Placid Airport, claiming the lives of both Francis and Senior Vice President of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, Richard McSpadden. And when it comes to gross things to eat in a survival situation, Wyoming has quite a few options, but it does raise the question, who would resort to campfire roasted prairie dog? Outdoors reporter Mark Hines said he spoke to people who have dined on them and worse to stave off hunger in Wyoming's great outdoors.
I talked to one guy who said his uncle once got trapped out on a fishing trip and had to eat his own fishing worms. And apparently they did the trick. They filled his stomach and stayed down and got him through the night. So, you do what you got to do.
Christopher Rice of Laramie told Cowboy State Daily that he'd heard rumors of people resorting to eating skunks, but couldn't verify those tales, although he said bat wing soup is surprisingly good. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.